Yes, I. This is the Rastafari I call Ayman I. You are now in tune. On the one, the force itself. At this time, we call it the Master Blaster jamming. The current state of the human mind is due to government programming. The so-called revolution has taken many turns since chattel slavery. From the gut feelings of Nat Turner, who said, "Fuck it, I just can't take it anymore." Even he had a plan. And as always, there is betrayal. And like 4th of July fireworks, momentum fizzles out. So in the beginning, we see the extreme. Our oral tradition tells us that many of the persons with Nat Turner ran for cover of the swamps and traveled to the Carolinas, where they settled there, are descendants there today. I know one personally who grew to be a close confidant to the late revolutionary Malcolm X. So we see the struggle continues. Even from the time Harriet Tubman's Underground Railroad, the Sojourner Truth, we have used signs, we have used codes along the way to freedom. Celestial navigation was always a tool. We followed the North Star. Used codes like follow the drinking gourd. So we had to be aware of these codes. In the esoteric lore of the past, the travelers were like Moses, endeavoring the route to the promised land, but never making it. It was his brother Aaron, if we are to understand our plight, who made it into the promised land. Aaron represents us in our time, who through time has accumulated more experience, gained more knowledge. We understand the terrain much better now. We have a bird's eye view. For in the 60s, the so-called revolutionaries used the Chinese and Japanese models, and the Trojan horse they were building fell apart with time. The manifesto and treatises of Mao Zedong were used. Ones today who have studied and overstood the models of the past know that the Nation of Islam, one of the greatest models of the black nationalism, was infiltrated by Japanese factions. The main culprit being Satakata Takahashi. This point was the first interjection of poison into the pure veins of the movement. Foreign operatives were briefed of our plight and sought to enlist us into aiding their country's interests against our captors. We were to be used as pawns in their war against America. In the first 3 decades of the Black Revolution, from the 1930s, so in the 60s, it was easy for the intellectuals like Dr. Angela Davis to pick up the works of Chairman Mao as revolutionary model against the crumbling, powerful Babylon. We were viewed as desperate and ignorant by Red China and the warlords of Japan. They knew we wanted to be free of America. They knew that America had did what America had did and was still doing to us. They knew we would follow. At the same time, J. Edgar Hoover was working his magic on us with his infamous COINTELPRO. So our movement was plagued from without and within. Madness was created like a Frankenstein's monster we became. We were turned in on ourselves. This was the magic that caused Malcolm to be killed. And don't forget, on top of all this is the Pakistani mystic Master Fard Muhammad, who hypnotized Sister Clara Muhammad, wife of Elijah, who introduced the mystic man to her husband. Thus is the history of the infamous Nation of Islam. Even before that, this man and others like him had mystified men like Noble Drew Ali, father of the modern black Moors. Even today, they argue and kill over who is right and who is wrong, not realizing they all are connected to one invisible thread, which is someone other than their own kind. In the midst of all this madness, Malcolm was a true believer in the core belief of the movement. He was a true believer in the truth and light which lie dormant in the darkness of time. He was the one chosen to bring the world's eyes to the Master, and all others wanted to be like him, wanted to walk in his shoes. The puppet masters knew this and used it to get rid of the chosen one, and he accepted his destiny and was demised. So we have always had much working against us. This is why we have so far failed. Envy, jealousy, and greed. We were not spiritual beings. We were not Christ-like. We were not wise or called by God like Muhammad. Only Malcolm was chosen. He became he became too powerful in the eyes of American powers and in the eyes of his own people, who saw him as taking money out of their pockets, so to speak. You're now in tune. On the one, the force itself. At this time, we call it the Master Blaster Jamming. This has been part 2 of this discourse, the Brotherhood of St. Malcolm. Stay tuned for part 3. And you remember, you are now in tune. On the one, the force itself. At this time, we call it the Master Blaster Jamming. I am your